Envy is a shadow that is cast behind every great man, and for every brilliant Stark, there was a resentful Obadiah Stane waiting in the shadows. The shocking truth is that Stane's hatred was not born from nothing. It was a seed planted by one man's genius and watered by the rise of his son, a poison that rotted their friendship and turned it into a destructive obsession that would echo across different realities and media. Hey clickers, subscribe with the bell activated, comment with the content you want to see on the channel, share this video to help us grow, and leave your hype, it helps us a lot. Obadiah Stane's resentment against the Stark family is one of the most fascinating and complex narratives in the Iron Man universe, varying in its specifics but always maintaining a core of envy and frustrated ambition. In its most celebrated incarnation, seen in theaters in 2008, Stane was the right-hand man of Howard Stark, the patriarch and genius founder of Stark Industries. He was the partner, the administrator, the man who kept the gears turning while Howard created the impossible. However, living in the shadow of a genius is a heavy burden. Obadiah saw himself as the true pillar of the company, the one who turned Howard's inventions into profit and power, but the world only had eyes for the Stark name. With the premature death of Howard and Maria Stark, Obadiah took interim control of the company and became a father figure to the young heir. He guided the company and, in a way, the protagonist, but beneath the facade of a benevolent mentor, the seed of jealousy continued to grow. He watched the Stark heir squander the legacy that he, Obadiah, believed he had built with his own sweat. To Stane, his old partner's son was an irresponsible playboy who did not value the empire that had been handed to him. The true fracture, the breaking point, occurred when the genius billionaire returned from captivity in Afghanistan with a new perspective on life. The protagonist's decision to shut down the weapons division of Stark Industries was, for Obadiah, the final betrayal. He saw it not as an act of conscience, but as the destruction of the company's foundation, a move that directly threatened his power, his wealth, and everything he had dedicated his life to maintaining. The hatred, once a latent ember, burst into flames. He felt that the young inventor was spitting on his father's legacy and on Stane's entire life's work. In the comics, the origin of this antagonism is notably different, yet rooted in the same raw emotion. Obadiah Stane was not a family friend or a mentor. He was a master of corporate chess, a ruthless magnate, and the head of Stane International, a rival company. His first major attack against Iron Man was brutally personal and calculated. Stane didn't just want to defeat his business rival, he wanted to annihilate him psychologically. He orchestrated a series of devastating attacks, both professional and personal, that culminated in pushing the Stark heir into a devastating relapse into his alcoholism. This campaign of destruction was meticulous. Stane financed adversaries, stole contracts, and manipulated the stock market. The peak of his strategy occurred in the famous saga published in Iron Man Volume 1 around issue 200. After leaving his enemy in emotional tatters, Obadiah executed a hostile takeover, buying Stark Industries and renaming it Stane International. He didn't just take the company, he took the name, the legacy. He forced the protagonist into a life on the streets, stripped of everything, while James Rhodes took on the mantle of Iron Man to protect his friend's legacy. Stane's motivation in the pages of the comics was that of a supreme predator. He saw the Stark name as the greatest trophy in the world of business and technology. Defeating the genius behind the armor was not enough. He needed to humiliate him, to prove that he, Obadiah Stane, was the superior intellect and strategist. He used the Stark technology he acquired to build his own armor, the Ironmonger, a name that reflected his vision of himself as someone who would surpass the original creator. His fall was as dramatic as his rise, choosing to take his own life rather than admit defeat to the recovered hero. Other media explore additional facets of this hatred. In the animated series Iron Man Armored Adventures, Stane's villainy is even more direct and dark. In this version, he is directly responsible for sabotaging the plane that caused Howard Stark's death. His motive was to take full control of the company from the beginning, seeing Howard as an obstacle to his ambitions of militarizing the company's technology without restriction. Here, the hatred is not just envy, it is an act of murderous betrayal that defines his entire relationship with the young protagonist. In all his appearances, the common thread is the same. Obadiah Stane feels inherently superior to the Starks, but is perpetually relegated to second place. Whether by Howard's genius or the charisma and intellect inherited by his son, Stane is the man in the shadow, the supporting character who longs for the leading role. He believes that the power and recognition the Starks possess should be his by right, by effort, and by intelligence. His hatred is the manifestation of a lifetime of resentment, the fury of a man who sees himself as the true king, forced to bow to a lineage he despises. The legacy of this hatred is so profound that even his son, Ezekiel Stane, would continue the crusade against Iron Man, making the rivalry an inheritance of blood and revenge. So, which version of Obadiah Stane do you find more impactful? The treacherous mentor from the movies or the ruthless corporate rival from the comics? Leave your comment down below. We want to know your opinion. Don't forget to like this content if you learned something new about this iconic villain, and share it with a friend who is also an Iron Man fan. Your interaction is very important to us and helps us bring more detailed analyses like this one. Thanks.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards